What's up, my Full Joy podcasters? I'm really thinking about migrating over to video again. This was really just me trying to figure out if I wanted to stick with audio. And now that I have a few more listeners and it's been going on 2 months now of just trying this out, I think by next month or by the end of next month, I'm going to just go ahead and do video. And the video will still be short and sweet. Might be a little more extensive, and I may decide that I want to start bringing guests on just to get more perspective and more insight to help each other on our journey. I've learned that no man is an island, and no man can be alone and accomplish the things that they want without relationships and productive relationships that gravitates the betterment of who you are. I've been getting a lot of feedback from myself, a lot of feedback from other people, just about the transition and how they see me and, the surprise of the content that I have available, because I don't really integrate who I am on this podcast, which is truly who I am when I'm at work. And I know a lot of us, we put on this facade and this facade, but being able to be authentic and be who you are and allowing it to translate properly to those that you work with, to me, that's the biggest accomplishment that anyone can ever inquire. And that's not the easiest accomplishment for those, depending on your aspect and how you treat it. And the reason why I say, for me personally, it has not been the easiest concept to grab, which means being cold-heartedly myself at work, is because I don't believe that people appreciate it. And that's my own limitation that I've set for myself, because it always starts with you and what you believe. And if I'm a cold-hearted believer that all things are possible, why have I made that my thought pattern? I believe what ended up happening to me was the power of rejection. And I know we all have went through this before, but rejection is real. And if you're not strong enough, and if you weren't taught how to outlast and be resilient regardless of what's going on, or be persistent and then continue to be consistent in what you do regardless of how you feel, regardless of how many rejections you've gotten, you don't keep going. And I myself was a project of that. I was almost facilitated in that. And over this week, I've learned that a lot of the times, all these limitations that I put on myself are these minor ones that's keeping me from that next level. Thinking I can't be myself. Thinking I can't voice my own opinion. I'm only hurting myself. I'm only hurting Joy. You're only hurting yourself. You're holding yourself back because of the pre-notion or the pre-idea that you have put in your head that someone may not like you. Where did you get that thought pattern from? Or someone may be jealous of you. And even if that is the case, Joy, why do you care? Too long you had been this people person. You've always been this people pleaser because you have been conditioned into, wanting and seeing the ideas of others before you see the idea of yourself. And I know I speak on this all the time, but it's really true. Every limitation that we put on ourselves is what we do to ourselves. Reading Think and Grow Rich, Black Choice by Dennis Kimbrough. And it was this one part here that he quoted Booker T. Washington. And it even says here, years ago, Booker T. Washington penning the following words: "It would serve you well to commit to his quote to memory. The circumstances that surround a man's life are not important. How a man responds to those circumstances is important. His response is the ultimate determining factor between success and failure." I don't have to care. You don't have to care. And training your mind to understand that there is something so much bigger than focusing on the negative. And that's what I kept doing. I kept focusing on the things I considered as obstacles or boundaries, not boundaries, as borders or barriers for me, versus I'm putting all that attention and energy to that. So now that's what's growing. And now I'm thinking, oh man, I got all these limitations. And in reality, that's how I've been thinking. We got to take out time to see what we're thinking about. What are we thinking about? Taking control of those thoughts. And once we take control of those thoughts, we begin to see clearly. Taking out time. Like right now, what I did was, y'all, I spent 10 minutes and I actually finally applied a principle that was taught to me a year ago. That's another thing. If something is taught to you, take advantage of that teaching and do it right in that moment. Do it right away. Don't wait a year later. And now what you could have did last year took up the time for you to learn something else new. Procrastination, working against that. So I took out the time, I'm stuttering over my words, but I took out the time and I spent 10 minutes. Set my timer. And I was like, man, I don't even know if I can do this. I don't even know if I can stay focused enough to do this. And I kept saying, no, you got to work through this. Everyone before you has told you all you needed to do was spend only 10 minutes a day thinking on something positive, thinking on your next goal, thinking on that next thing that makes sure that, that sets up for your freedom. What is it that you want? Think on that. What desires do you have? Think on that. Because you know how to think negative. You know how to let the negative thoughts flow freely. You know how to let it flow freely. What about teaching yourself another habit? What about spending those 10 minutes a day? Because what starts off hard will soon become easy since you know that. Let's make another habit. Let's make another habit. And those thoughts of rejection and those thoughts of failure that you once had and those thoughts of fear that you once had, change your thoughts. A man that changes his thoughts changes his life. My circumstances are only because of what I've been thinking about. I'm in the place that I'm in because of what I've been thinking about. You're in the place you're in because of what you've been thinking about. You're actually where you want to be because this is what you've been thinking about your whole life. Me and my brother spoke on something, and he was saying that the very place that he is in his career right now, this is something that he prayed for. This is something he's thought on. This is something that he's been preparing himself for. So sometimes in that, and when you finally get that understanding, you learn the power of your thoughts. And tonight I learned that the most powerful thing is my thought and my mind. And that my life is the way it is because of the lack of thinking or the too much of thinking. And my circumstances are of the lack of doing or of not doing. And if that correlates enough, it's from what I don't do and what I do and vice versa. But yeah, y'all, I want to thank y'all. And I always thank people, for the time, because you could spend your 8 minutes, your 9 minutes, your 10 minutes doing something else, not listening to me. But you're allowing me to bless you, and you allow me to send you, even as annoying it can be, you allow me to send you my videos every Friday morning, every Friday evening, every Friday night. Now, trust me, it's always going to be posted at 6 a.m. on YouTube. And I hear the people, and I'm going to move it on to something else where YouTube will, be for the videos, and I will have somewhere where I just directly do audios like I've been doing. And we'll see the growth in that. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to my perspective and just being patient with my growth and seeing that we are all the same and nothing less of that. I thank you, and I love you. Stay blessed, stay encouraged, and remember, rejection does not mean the end. Change your life, change your perspective, and make the rest of your life the best of your life. Thank you, E.T.